What's going on, everybody? James here from I Am Wealth, and we're back for another episode of A Life Well Lived, a physician's guide to wealth. Thank you so much for your time and attention. And today we are going to dive head forward into, let me ask you this question. What is the most valuable thing that you have in your lifetime that you can never get back? Pause, take a moment, think about it. Okay, you got the answer in your head? Did any of you think about time? If we were to ask any billionaire on the planet what they would want more of, would it be another house, another car, another private jet, another zero at the end of their bank balance? Or would it be more time to do the things that bring them joy, help others, and spend quality time with friends and family? Time is the one thing that you and I can't get back, and it is always fleeting. So if you've been with me the last couple episodes, we talked about time is money or is money time. How can you use your money to create more time in your life? We talked about what's your worth as a physician, right? If you're spending time doing things outside of your skill set, it might be costing you. There's an opportunity cost. And today I want to talk with you a little bit about just an exercise that I do every single year at the end of the year. I know if you're listening this to me right now, it's probably not year end, but I would encourage you to do it right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to do an audit of your time. Yeah, a little spooky, right? How did you spend time the last year of your life? Who did you spend time with? What types of things did you do that brought you joy? What types of things that you did at work what created the most leverage and the most ROI on your time? What types of things did you do outside of work that allowed you to recover the best as a human being so you could show up as a physician ready to go when you had to go back to work? And what kinds of things sucked your time and life force? What kind of things drained you? What kind of things did you say yes to that you wanted to say no to, but you didn't because you have a hard time saying no? So I have done this. I heard it on a podcast in 2020, right in the beginning of the pandemic. I think it came from John Maxwell. And I have done this every single year for the last 4 years. And every single time I do this, the things that bring me joy, that increase my ROI, that make me happy as a human being go up every single year. The list gets longer and longer and longer. And then the things that suck my energy and drain me as a human being that I likely should have said no to, but I didn't know how to say no 4 or 5 years ago, that list gets shorter and shorter and shorter. So what does this mean? More time for joy, more time in your strength zone, more time doing things you love and spending quality time with those you care about most. How does that sound to you right now? Take a moment. What would your life feel like and look like if you were spending more time in your joys and in your strength zone and resting recovery than doing things that you don't want to do? So here's how the episode works, or we're going to clip that out. So here is how the exercise works. So when I did this at the end of the year, I typically go to a coffee shop, and you need to plan on this taking probably anywhere from 3 to 5 hours, depending on how methodical you want to be. So I always choose, maybe it's a work day and I, block off an afternoon or the morning. And I typically do it between Christmas and New Year's because for me in my industry, no one wants to talk to me about their money. They're spending time with their families. It's great, right? So normally around that time, I'll go to a coffee shop for 4 to 5 hours. I'll get nice and caffeinated, get in the zone. If I would just encourage you to get outside of your normal day to day. Don't do it in work at your work office where you could be distracted. Don't do it at home because anyone could pull you in a different direction and distract you. I would encourage you to get off the grid when you're going through this exercise. And what you're going to do to audit your time is you're just going to go back 1 year and look at your photos on your iPhone or wherever you store your photos. I typically do it on my MacBook on my computer because it syncs with my phones. You're going to look at your calendar. So you're going to go week by week in conjunction with your photos in your calendar. It's also super fun to just relive the last year and focus on the highlights and everything that you're grateful for. So there's a lot of gratitude that comes out of this exercise as well. And then you're also, if you're really feeling up for it, you can go back through all of your credit card statements, your bank balances, etc. I do this every single year, but it typically ends up being around like tax time for the sake of my taxes, me being a 1099. That's up to you. That really might make some of you feel uncomfortable, but it really might open your awareness levels of areas in your life that you were spending money that maybe you shouldn't have, or you said yes to out of guilt or societal pressures or whatever it might be. You also can go through your social platforms if you'd like, whatever, anywhere that you have information about your last year. Typically photos and calendar will get the job done. However, do what you got to do. And then what you're going to do is you're going to categorize. I just use an Excel spreadsheet in Google Drive. You're going to have different categories of things to leave behind in the previous year and never do again, people to leave behind in the previous year. Yeah, as you won't grow as a human being, you're typically going to have to leave some people out of your life. I, over the years, have done this with a lot of formal clients that I call PETA, and that is pain in the, okay, you can take it from there. But leaving those types of people that drained me and belittled me in the past. So things that you want to leave behind in the previous year, people that you want to leave behind in the previous year. And then you're going to have another column that is things to bring forward and do more of in the year going forward. So this can be like maybe little things that you did, like maybe you just started picking up like golf or some other hobby, pickleball, tennis, whatever it might be, right? So things that you want to pick up and move forward, or maybe you learned a new skill as a physician that you didn't quite apply enough to your day-to-day life, and you want to carry that skill forward with you and double down on it in the year going forward. Another category that ends up being my favorite, and once again, this list has gotten longer and longer every single year that I've done this exercise, is just the best of best. I call it ROJ, return on joy. What were the moments when you were the absolutely most happy, present, content, in the moment, and fulfilled the last year of your life? Typically, this ends up for me when I'm with friends and family, when I'm on vacation, watching a sunset, going for a morning walk, getting out on a golf course and golfing with some buddies, getting on a boat and enjoying summer in northern Michigan, doing date nights with my fiance Stephanie, bringing on a new client that I really, really enjoyed and loved. That's most of our new clients. Maybe it's an area of work that I really enjoyed. Like for me, this podcast will probably be one of the best return on joys. I love what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting in an empty room in my kitchen recording on Zoom, but I absolutely love it. So what are the best return on joys from the previous year of your life? And then another category can be like best of best humans in your life. Who supported you the most? Who are you most grateful for? Who lifted you up and carried you forward the most? Who inspired you? Who pushed you to become a better person? Those types of people. And then best of best, new humans met that you maybe are incredible humans, but you haven't quite spent as much time as you want to, and you want to focus more on them in the year going forward. So my challenge for you is to schedule time right now on your calendar, sometime, let's say in the next 30 to 60 days. I know you live and lead a crazy busy life, but we all can make time and prioritize something like this. And it's fun just to take, yourself on a little date out to a coffee shop. Oh, that's another thing, taking myself on a weekly date, whether it's a hike, coffee shop, going to the beach, going to a yoga class, whatever it might be, going to a massage, like those types of things also are new that I'm adding to my best of best return on joy. So take yourself to a coffee shop and go through this exercise and audit your time for the last year of your life. And if you're sitting here right now, like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm good. Just think about that time is the most precious resource you have as a human. You can never get more time. You can always make more money. You can't get more time with your kids. You can't get more time seeing them grow up as a human being. You can't get more time with your spouse or partner. Someday, eventually, both of us, will be gone. You can't get more time with your parents. You can't get more time in your strength zone as a physician at work with the patients that you love the most. You can't get more time in all these different categories. So I would challenge anybody that time is the most valuable resource you have, even ahead of your money. There's no doubt about it. And that's why I always thank you for your attention and going through this exercise. So within the next 30 to 60 days, schedule that time. And what you're going to find is very similar to me. Like I said, I'm 4 years into this exercise. I do it every single year. I put a reminder on my calendar in like October or November to schedule it on my calendar. And then I typically always make it happen between Christmas and New Year's. Like I said, around the holidays time when life slows down for me, you're going to have to figure out when that is for you. And then what I would encourage you to do, or what you will see if you're anything like me, at first, my list of like things to leave behind in the previous year was a mile long. And my joys were way shorter, right? And the people and like I was giving people tasks, ideas, priority over my life versus me taking control of my own life and figuring out what I need as a human being to be the most joyful. And I would say every single year that this goes by, I just become more and more content in my present life, more and more present in the moment, and more just happy and filled with joy because I'm spending more time in the areas of my life that bring me the most joy. So go ahead, schedule time now, put it on your calendar, and you will feel greatly rewarded going through this exercise. And it just takes some intentionality for you to carve out the time to do it. And I can't wait to hear all about it. And we'll see you next time for another episode of A Life Well Lived.